Guess what, guys? Today we're taking a look at a mechanical gaming keyboard. I mean, how exciting does that sound? It's a gaming keyboard. But on a serious note though, this is something I'm sure a lot of you guys were expecting this year, a wireless mechanical keyboard. And today we're tackling Corsair's first product in that category. So meet the K63 Wireless that's priced at around $110. Now to be clear, this isn't the world's first mechanical keyboard. There are plenty of them out there, but the K63 Wireless features a few unique characteristics that might attract gamers who are looking for something a little bit different from their traditional full-sized gaming keyboard. So let's take a closer look at this guy right after a message from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm looking for a case. Well, look no further. I got this beauty. The H700i by NZXT. With all-steel premium frame with a side of tempered glass to beautifully showcase any cooling adventure you might pursue and cable management system that you wish you had earlier. All this lit up with integrated RGB lighting and built-in fan control. The H700i. This one's for you. Oh, I'll take it.
Okay, so the first thing to discuss here is the wireless convenience. We first started seeing this trend in gaming headsets and gaming mice, and it was just a matter of time to hit gaming keyboards. The K63 Wireless can be used in 3 different modes. The first one would obviously be through wired mode, or you can use the ultra-fast 1 millisecond 2.4 GHz wireless setting, and Corsair has included a dedicated receiver that users can plug into their PC. It's very low profile, although I wish Corsair included a compartment within the keyboard to store the receiver, because this could be easily misplaced if you decide to travel with the keyboard. Lastly, you can also connect the keyboard to an Android or iOS device via the built-in low-latency Bluetooth 4.2 protocol. You can also connect the keyboard to a computer via Bluetooth, but you can't use Corsair's Q software to customize the macros and lighting. And as much as this might sound ridiculous, you can actually pair this up with an iPad and start using it at a coffee shop or when traveling. It's a welcoming addition in my opinion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about Bluetooth implementation on a gaming mechanical keyboard. I mean, do you see yourself pairing this up with a smartphone or a tablet if you're into mobile gaming, or if you just want to get work done? Let me know. Switching between 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth is very simple. Corsair has implemented those buttons within the function keys, and they're very quick at that, so that's awesome. Speaking of buttons, let's quickly go over the layout of the K63 Wireless. So if you recall the original wired K63 from Corsair that retails for about $80, this should feel like home. The wireless version sports the exact same 10 keyless layout. You've got dedicated media playback buttons on both the top left and right hand sides, along with brightness adjust in 3-step intervals, including the option to turn it off, a Windows lock key, and 4 LED indicators, one for power, one for 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth, and the colors on that do change depending on which mode you're in. Same goes for the power LED. If you're running on low battery, the LED turns to red. The last few LEDs are for caps lock and firmware updates, so pretty straightforward. There are no dedicated macro buttons, unlike what you'd find on Corsair's much expensive K95 series, and that makes sense because this is a TKL keyboard in the first place, but the rest of the keys can be programmed through Corsair's Q software, and we'll talk about that shortly. The build quality of this keyboard is really good. The chassis is mostly made out of hard plastic materials, and the structural integrity is top-notch. I have no complaints in that department. There are 2 variants for this model. One comes with the normal dark blue LED backlighting, and another special edition that comes with ice blue backlighting, yet they cost exactly the same. I'm not really sure why Corsair is selling the exact same keyboard in 2 different LED backlightings, but it is what it is. And for those of you who are invested in other RGB peripherals, you might be disappointed with the K63 Wireless because it lacks that feature. That being said, the backlighting on this keyboard is very bright and consistent across keys, so there's no gradient whatsoever, and part of this luminosity has to do with the blue coating underneath the keys. Do note that it might look odd with the backlighting turned off. On a personal note, I felt like the LEDs were a little bit too harsh than normal because I'm more used to the subtle lighting that's found on something like the G Pro with just the letters lit up instead of the whole backplate, but that's just me, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments. Given that Corsair is approaching the unplug and play mantra, they've also decided to launch the K63 Wireless Gaming Lap Board to target users who might want to expand their gaming experience to their living room seamlessly without having to invest on specific peripheral setups. And this is a brilliant execution in my opinion, unlike the Lapdog, which was a little bit on the bulkier side, and obviously it was also a lot more expensive. So say for instance you want to continue your gaming session from your desktop to your living room. You basically grab the K63 Wireless along with the USB receiver and your wireless gaming mouse, I suppose, hook it up to your HTPC, and then carefully slide the front end of the keyboard into the cradle of the lap board and use the built-in retention hooks to secure the keyboard into place. Upon completion, you can sit back on your comfy couch and enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I do appreciate Corsair for including a cloth-type mousepad with the lap board, as that's my personal favorite, but yours might vary. The memory foam underneath the lap board features plenty of cushions, so from a comfort standpoint, you're really not being compromised, although I will warn you, if you're planning on gaming on it for longer hours, the heat buildup might start to irritate you at some point. Corsair is selling the lap board for about $60, but remember, it is an additional investment on top of the $110 that you'll be spending on the K63 Wireless. So it all comes down to your use case scenario. Are you just looking for a wireless mechanical keyboard or a hybrid solution that can adapt into any environment? Think about that before pulling the trigger. I should also mention that Corsair is selling a combo kit, so you get the K63 as well as the lab board for $160, so that's $10 cheaper than purchasing them separately. Coming back to the K63 Wireless, there are a few more accessories included in the box. Let me start with the detachable wrist rest that simply clicks onto the keyboard. The rubberized textured material provides a good amount of grip, and throughout my testing period, I didn't run into any discomfort issues. Corsair also includes a 1.8-meter micro USB cable to charge the unit. I wished if it was Type-C because it's 2018. You also get a mini USB to Type-A female adapter. This can be used to extend the wireless connection, but throughout my tests, it wasn't necessary. Given that this is a wireless keyboard, you may be wondering about battery life. It's actually pretty good. So Corsair claims that you can get up to 15 hours of use with the included LEDs set to 100%. If you tone that down to 50%, you'll get an additional 10 hours. And if you want to completely turn off the LEDs, expect at least 3 days worth of use. I left the LEDs at their brightest setting, and upon mixed usage between my PC and my iPad, I was able to get roughly a day and a half of use. And again, this was not me completely using it 24/7. I was just coming in from my regular work day, getting work done, doing a little bit of gaming here and there, and that was it. Unfortunately, Corsair's Q software doesn't give you a visual indication on battery status unless you get into the advanced settings, which once again is of no use because it only cycles between high and low mode. It honestly doesn't make any sense because Logitech does a much better job with their gaming software and their wireless peripherals. For instance, I have my G403 hooked up to my main PC, and the Logitech gaming software has a separate tab for battery, and it shows the exact percentage on how much juice you have on the mouse. So if I'm running low, I can always plug it in, and it's a good way to estimate how long your devices can run in wireless mode. But that's not the case with the K63 Wireless. There's no way to visually see how much percent you have remaining on this keyboard, but I hope they'll fix that with a software update, hopefully, or maybe the next revision. Let's talk about switches on the K63 Wireless. They're the standard Cherry MX red types, so nothing custom made, which I respect. After all, it is the most popular switch type out there, and it's the only offering on this keyboard. Honestly, after using it for about a week or so, it was refreshing to try these out again after switching between multiple keyboards over the past few years. My daily driver, the Logitech G Pro, features the Roamer G switches, which took me a while to get used to since they are lighter and a bit faster. The MX Reds provides a good balance between actuations and tactile feedback. It only requires 45 grams of force to register a press, and actuations takes place at 2 millimeters. So it's not the fastest when compared to MX Speed or the Roamer G, both actuate at 1.2 and 1.5 millimeters respectively. In real-world use, you're not going to notice a huge difference when typing or even gaming because all you need is a keyboard that's quick to respond to key presses and anti-ghosting, so you're not getting screwed over during a gameplay session while switching weapons. Thankfully, the 1 millisecond response time with the wireless connection was strong and reliable, and it really did feel like gaming on a wired keyboard, which is great. The wireless range was also excellent. You shouldn't have any issues gaming with this keyboard in your living room, but if you do, depending on the size of the space, the included adapter for extension could come in handy. Corsair's Q software definitely needs a lot of work. I feel like previous generation softwares were a lot better than what's available right now because it looks like navigating through it is backwards than what used to be very intuitive. Anyways, the user is greeted with a physical layout of the keyboard, and if you want to assign macros, you can head over to the Actions tab and then assign macros to any individual key on the keyboard. If you want to adjust lighting effects, you can head over to the Lighting tab and cycle between different effects. So there's static, visor, rain, pulse. There's also ripple effect, and you can adjust the direction and the speed, so that's convenient. Last but not least, there's the performance tab that allows you to disable certain functions when you press the Windows lock button. So in conclusion, the K63 Wireless nails a lot of things that people were looking for in a wireless mechanical keyboard. For one, it's ultra fast, 1 millisecond response time is really good. If you're gaming on it, you're really not going to notice a difference when you're gaming it with a wired keyboard. It really is pretty fast. The Bluetooth functionality is definitely an awesome feature. I see myself taking advantage of this when I'm taking notes on my iPad if I want to, because typing from a mechanical keyboard, it's so much better. It's really hard for me to go back to a traditional low profile membrane keyboard. That's just the way how it is. I love the TKL form factor of this keyboard. It's nice and compact. It should fit within any setup. And of course, it's also a lot better and a lot convenient to travel with. Corsair might come up with a full-size keyboard. I'm not really sure when, but it is a possibility. The lack of RGB lighting might be a deal breaker for some of you out there, because you might have invested in peripherals or other peripherals that feature that lighting, and maybe the blue lighting wouldn't really complement your setup. So that is something to take in mind if you're considering a wireless gaming keyboard. The battery life is not the greatest, but it is respectable. For my usage, just using it on my PC and pairing it up with my iPad, I was able to get a day and a half worth of use. But that again isn't convenient to me, because I have to constantly charge it every once in 2 days. And the last thing that I want to talk about is a lap board, because I feel like that is a pretty interesting addition that complements the K63 Wireless if you're looking to build yourself a pretty cool living room gaming setup, and if you're really aiming for that cord-free gaming experience. So you want to have yourself a gaming keyboard that's wireless, a gaming mouse that's also wireless, and a gaming headset that's wireless. I feel like that's, once again, it all ties down to the convenience factor. If you want a complete wireless setup, I think Corsair is offering that with the addition of the lap board. And if you think about it, the premium difference between the K63 Wireless and the wired version is only $30. So it's not that huge. And for $110, I feel like there's a lot of value with the K63 Wireless, especially since it's a mechanical keyboard. It is something that you really can't find with other brands, at least as I'm making this video. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the K63 Wireless for its price point and of course the features that it offers. Do you see yourself switching from your traditional full-size gaming keyboards to something like this? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Igor with HardwareCanucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.